Let's see what I've got today from my friends at B&H. I love B&H. I've been shopping from these guys ever since the 1970s. When I was just in junior high school, these guys were awesome. They would always take care of me. Of course, I lived on Long Island. I would take the train to New York City. I would walk from Penn Station down to where they were, which I think was on 17th or maybe 9th. Well, they're on 9th now. They moved around a lot. When they were really small, obviously they grew they grew much faster than anybody could have expected. Let's see what I've got today. Actually, I think I know what we've got today, but let's take a look. Ah, beautiful. Okay, here's my order slip, I'm presuming. Look at this. You see what this is? You can't even see what this is. This is a sealed box. Then I know what this is. This is a LEICA. That's the reason I'm wearing gloves. LEICAs are more than cameras. LEICAs are immortal. They're like a Steinway, the instrument of the immortals. They're not simply a piece of hardware. These are instruments that live on forever. And as such, yes, indeed, I think I know what this is. This is my LEICA Q2 that I finally ordered. I'm more of an M kind of man, but to be honest, everyone told me how great the Q2 is, so I'm going to compare it to my iPhone. But in any case, this was built on February 19th on 2020. There's a serial number and the VERC number. Now, you'll notice that this is in a sealed cardboard box. If you buy this from any place, I would never buy this at a retail store, any retail store, because this has probably been opened. This is the germ shield, and I'm not sure what they call it in German, but they've been doing this forever. The key is, this way, people who are not LEICA people can touch your box, and they will not soil the inside box. So there are several layers of protection here. And again, the reason I wear these gloves is not because of fear of disease. If anything, it's a respect of the sanctity of the LEICA. The LEICA is not something you soil. It's not something you expose to germs. And for the first time ever, I'm going to open this. I'm going to break the seal. You'll notice how this actually is sealed. Here we go. That's why I buy from B&H, because nobody cracks open my cameras to show around a showroom. This stuff all ships from a warehouse in a different state when you order from B&H, so you can be assured of getting a new product. So again, you remove the outer germ shield, and then you get the box. Again, if you buy from a retail store and this is what they hand you, the silver box, don't buy it. That means it's been opened. People have messed around with it. It must come in the germ shield. The germ shield should be sealed. And again, I'm sorry, I don't know what the German name for the germ shield is, but that's what that is. The key is, when you get your silver box, you can be assured, if it's come from that sealed germ shield, that this has never been touched outside the factory in the holy city of Wetzlar, Germany. Okay. You know what our state... Okay, I'm just Europe, United States, Japan. First world, rest of world, that's what ROW stands for. When you work in marketing, as I've worked, that's rest of world. Interesting, we have different VERC numbers. Black finish, Schwarz. Let's see what we get with our brand new LEICA Q2, our virginal, brand new LEICA Q2. Straight from B&H, straight from Wetzlar. Ah, you see how many boxes there are? This outer box, I should have used a wider lens. Can I do this? Oh my gosh. Look at that. There's the wider lens. Ha! That's my iPhone. Here is this. Purity incarnate. Hold on. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this box out of the way. I see a LEICA is something worth unboxing. Let's take a look at some more of the particulars. Here's our outside box. It's corrugated cardboard. Ah, even the box has magnetic closures. Just like my Apple Watch. It's magnetic watch band. Look at this. This is just a throwaway box. Well, of course, not of course, but people tend not to throw these away. Now, inside this box, did you see that? Magnetic closures. Maybe this looks better. Magnetic closures. See? Look at that. In perpetuity, it'll retain its magnetism. We have one smaller box here. Okay. I'm going to bet you that this is our actual camera. Ah! Purity incarnate. Now, this is cardboard. This is foam. This is fairly stiff foam. Fairly stiff closed-cell foam. This is much firmer than most of the foam you see. This is like most of my LEICAs in the past 10 or 20 years. It's got firm foam. Look at this. It's sculpted foam. This is not some throwaway paperboard rubbish that if it got wet would simply melt away. This will last immortally and always protect your camera. Notice when your camera comes in here, it can go over hell and high water. If you're working in Antarctica in a remote research station, if you're working, say, in a hot air balloon at, say, 100,000 feet in a weather balloon, regardless of what your camera goes through to get shipped to you, even with this much of the box, you could probably drop this out of the back of a helicopter and the camera would still survive because it is firm foam and it has progressive resistance because it's closed cell. The harder you push it, the more it pushes back. So it's progressive resistance. And here is our camera, never before touched outside of the Wetzlar factory. Aha! Now, the way the battery works is instead of wasting your time with the battery door that can fall off, to be more secure, the battery itself has the rubber and the lip that mounts here. So this is normal. Here is the battery release. You'll notice the steel pin. Maybe it's even stainless. That releases the battery. Made in Germany. That's the most important part here. This is made in Germany. It's not offshore to the Orient. It's not offshore to third world or communist countries. It's a real camera. It is a Leica. It's more than a camera. Oh my gosh, this is a very nice card door. This is metal. There's your card slot, only one card slot, but with Leicas, no one ever makes a mistake. As an instrument of the immortals, no one ever hits the delete button by accident, as I do on my other cameras where I would need a second card slot. Ah, it's got a real cap, a man's cap. This is a metal cap. This is what a cap should be. It's not some nasty plastic throwaway thing. It's a proper cap. Now notice that the camera does not come with a 49mm cap. It expects you to use it this way. If you want to take off this hood, which is a metal hood, and as it should be, made in Germany, it would require a separate cap. If you want to go a little more compact, you would use, it actually comes with a protector ring. Someplace in there's a protector ring that covers these threads, which is used by the hood, and then you could use a separate 49mm cap. Although personally, I use a 49mm clear ultraviolet filter and don't even use a cap. And the beauty of this is it looks like, this hood will go on over my filter. And so as soon as I put this out in the field, I'm putting a filter on, take off the hood, put on a filter, and then I don't need no stinking cap. This is nice, just as Contax has been doing since the 90s. If you put it on A, it'll automatically set the aperture. And if you do this, it'll automatically force that aperture. And it has. This is not true Leica. It's third stop clicks. Leica works in half stops, but this one chooses to work in third stops. Unfortunately, the full stops are not more deeply detented. So, like most Leica photographers, we can shoot just by feel without taking our eye away from the viewfinder. With this, you really can't count clicks. What is nice is it's a much deeper detent. You won't get into A unless you really push it that extra distance, but it should have deeper detents on the full stops. For focus, this looks like, this is a plastic thumb holder. Yeah, this is nice. It's got a lock. If you push this, it locks it into autofocus. So it won't come off of autofocus. But then when you want to manually focus, just push that lock to unlock it. Push the unlock. You know, that's weird. I don't see an infinity stop. It's not stopping here. But you can do that. There's a macro mode. Look at this. German thoroughness. You see, here's our focus scale in the standard focus mode. And if we go to the macro mode, did you see that? I'll do that again. Only from Germany. Go to the macro mode, completely different scale. This is a dual range. This is like the immortal Leica 5cm or 50mm Summicron with near focusing range. This is what it is. It has a near focusing range. The shutter speed knob, also, let's see, are there intermittent clicks? No, it clicks only at full stops. It goes 360 degrees around. And again, if you set this to A, it'll automatically choose the shutter. Set that to A, it chooses the aperture automatically. You leave them both in A, you're in program mode. You do this, just like the Fujifilm cameras are. Now you just force a 15th of a second. And if you want to go long exposures, you put it in 1+, and then you can turn the knob to do that. But again, that's going to be a separate review. Missing is a cable release socket. They didn't thread this. That's a negative. It's got a little cap for your hot shoe. Wetzlar, Germany. Holy city of Wetzlar. This is nice. This is glass, glass, and glass. This is Gorilla Glass. Let's see what else we got with our camera. Again, I'll have a full review of the camera up. Just the way it works is I have to unbox it first. Then I take it into my sanitary clean room where I photograph it for posterity and eternity on my website, kenrockwell.com. Then I actually go out and shoot the thing for the first time finally. Do a full review online at kenrockwell.com. And then, if you're nice, if I have the time, I'll make a YouTube video of my findings as well, which is, just like my M series. This little box, seems like you get a makeup box, but oh well. What do we have in here? Das Wintenslichter. Okay. 3-month membership to Adobe Creative Cloud. Wow, you've got it all for 3 months. 20 gigabytes of cloud storage. Whoop. You got the proof certificate. See? Signed. Meticulously examined. Not merely quality checked, but meticulously examined by experienced professionals at several stages of production. This is a LEICA. It's packed by this fella and inspected by that person several times through. We've got more paperwork. Okay, these are basic instructions. And the manual's online, which I've already read. Quick start guide, okay. In German, actually, it's better to read the German editions because at least the manuals in English are poorly translated because as an instrument of the immortals, Leica shooters don't need instruction manuals. We know what we're doing. But ideally, if you can read it in German because it makes more sense. Likewise, you'll get better quality pictures by setting your menus to the German as opposed to English. What's in here? I'm going to guess chargers and batteries, but let's see. This is a Leica. This is not rubbish. What have we got here? These are little cloth bags. This is not the camera that you use for a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 and throw away in 5 or 10 years. This is a camera that lasts a lifetime. And then some. My other Leicas, I've usually acquired them from people who passed on. Like my M3s. Heck, people have sent me, yeah, their relatives, my 3F and so forth, were given to me by people whose parents passed on. This is the protector ring that goes on the front of the lens if you don't want to use the hood, which is what you use if you want to go a little bit more compactly and save a half an inch. This feels like, this is fun. You'll notice also that these ties are knotted. This feels like a battery. It's about the right size. Yes. It's a battery. Even the battery is sealed. Let's dare unseal it because this little beast is going to get charged and I'm going to shoot it. Leica. Let's see if they preserved the sanctity if this comes from Germany or China. Here's all your listings. Interesting. That 5, that's usually how long it's going to be till I expect you're going to throw it away. Most electronic products have a 10. This I expect only for 5 years of life, then it dies. To be honest, the batteries I bought with my Leica M9, which I bought on September 9th, 2009, over 10 years ago, still work flawlessly. Here's a lot of so forth and so on. Most importantly, let's see. Where is it made? I don't know if they... Busted. Battery comes in China. To be honest, I expected that. There's a lip. And this is plastic, but there is a lip, I should say, and a gasket. 7.2 volts, 14 watt hours. I should do the math. Is that 1,860 milliampere hours? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be using this battery, so I'm not even going to put it back in its bag. You got to love Leica. You know, most people buy Leicas don't even shoot them because the people who buy Leicas have other people to do their photography for them. They hire someone to do their pet photography and their family photography and their sports photography and their kids at ballet receptions and so forth. The Leicas are just owned like any other work of art. You own it not because you need it, it's because you love it and it's who you are. This is the strap. This is a beautiful leather strap. These little dinky bands there. I'm not even going to use this. I'm going to put this away for when I pass this Leica on to my children. And I'm going to use the standard Leica strap that I use for all my M series because it's actually easier to get on than these little split rings. So I'm going to put this back in its little bag. Isn't this great? You don't even have to be a millionaire to watch this video. It's all free on YouTube. God bless American innovation. Okay, this is, I'm going to guess, is a charger. Let's see. Again, this is carefully knotted. Again, all this is inspected at many stages throughout the production. And signed, certified. That was a certificate we got there in paper. It's not some online thing. It's the real world. In here? Yes, indeed. I'm going to guess this also comes from China. This is nice. It's got an indicator so you know when you're 80% charged, which means if you're in a rush, as all of you who are electronic engineers know, lithium-ion batteries usually charge much more quickly when they're depleted, and then the charge rate slows as it nears 100%. It's kind of like filling up a can of gasoline. You go fast at the beginning, but slower towards the top so you don't overflow it. You usually get to 80% in about half the time as a full charge. So this is good. Here's how you get the battery in. Well, let's see. Let's do this live on TV. It's only going to go, yeah, it's only going to go in one way. Contacts. Okay. Oh, it just latched. Now let's see if I can figure out how to unlatch it. Yeah, it just snaps in. It snaps in, and there you go. Let's inspect this. Okay, how do we get power in? Bad. I prefer a folding plug, but too bad. I'm sure this works worldwide. Sure it does. Yeah, it's worldwide. And it is Hecho en Chino. Let's see. Who can read faster than I am? Again, this is unrehearsed live television. It's got a lot of writing. Manufactured for LEICA camera, made in China. Okay, that's as expected, so meets expectations. To be honest, I've never had much respect for German electronics. The Germans are masterminds at mechanics and optics and chemistry and medicine. When it comes to electronics, to make them reliable, I've never found that. My BMW motorcycles had connectors that were basically just copper, which of course corroded over time. They didn't silver plate them or even tin them with solder. Let's see, this I'm going to guess this is an official LEICA power cord. Although, to be honest, it looks like something that just came from the Orient, like every other supplier. Again, this power cord is going to stay in its box. I should say stay in its little wrap here. God bless them. Ha ha. For you international travelers who are essentially LEICA owners, it's also got a European plug. So you get both. Although I'd prefer to have a folding US plug. Too bad. Okay, and that's it. See, now here's the test. Here's a mental test for me. Of course, I'm reserving the battery and charger. Let's see if I can get this back in. And another reason I do these unboxing videos is now I, as well as you, have an eternal record of exactly how everything was packed and what came with it. So when I pass this on to my children, and to their children, and to their children's children, we know exactly what it's supposed to have. Put it back in this little slot. Look at that, 3 magnets. That, and let's see, the box for the camera goes here. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep out the camera because this is going to be transported sanitarily to my still photography studio, or now my television studio. Yeah, I'm going to reserve the camera and the charger. I'll put those back, and in fact, this cap I am not going to use in the field. Am I going to use this hood? No. In fact, I'm not even going to use this hood in the field. I'm just going to use a 49 millimeter filter and call it a day. So these are going back in the box until after I pass from this earth. Which again, LEICA shooters are immortal. I don't worry about passing from this earth because I will have an afterlife. Here we go. You see, as an artist, your soul is expressed in your work. And when you express yourself in your art, when you pass, your soul is still on earth in the form of your artwork. And you're remembered forever. So LEICA shooters really do not fear death, because LEICA shooters never die. Beautiful perfection, that is LEICA. Look at that. Get a little larger view here. Live on television from the KenRockwell.tv studios. Here at KenRockwell.com. Boop! Into the germ shield. And there we go. Thank you again for watching. KenRockwell.com and KenRockwell.tv.